Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 6 seemingly innocent paintings to reveal the gruesome, tragic, and sometimes terrifying truths that the art world doesn't advertise. These aren't just paintings, they're crime scenes, tragedies, and nightmares disguised as art. At first glance, this iconic American painting shows a peaceful rural scene. A young woman in a pink dress resting in a field, gazing up at a distant farmhouse on the horizon. But look closer at her awkward posture. Notice how her arms seem tensed, her body twisted unnaturally. This isn't a woman daydreaming or relaxing in a summer field. We're witnessing a moment of extreme physical struggle. The woman in this painting is Christina Olsen, who suffered from a degenerative muscular disorder that left her unable to walk. Though doctors originally thought she had polio, modern experts believe she suffered from Charcot-Marie tooth disease, which progressively destroys the nerves in the arms and legs. What makes this painting even more powerful is Christina's fierce independence. She adamantly refused to use a wheelchair, choosing instead to crawl using only her arms to move around her family property. Wyeth was inspired to create this masterpiece when he spotted Christina from a window, watching as she dragged herself across the field towards her house. What might look like a woman lounging in the grass is actually capturing an extraordinary act of determination. The painting becomes even more complex when you learn that while Christina's lower body and arms are hers, Wyeth used his much younger wife, Betsy, as the model for Christina's head and torso. Some critics have questioned the ethics of this decision. Was Wyeth unwilling to show the physical toll of Christina's condition on her upper body? Perhaps the most ironic of all is that while Christina's world became wildly successful, making Wyeth wealthy and famous, Christina continued to live in poverty in the dilapidated farmhouse seen in the distance. Despite his success, Christina proudly refused any financial help from the artist. This stunning painting seems to depict the ultimate luxury. Roman nobility enjoying a lavish feast while being showered with beautiful pink rose petals cascading from the ceiling. The composition is breathtaking, with Alma-Tadema's trademark attention to classical detail. The marble pillars gleam, the silken robes shimmer, and those delicate rose petals seem to drift down like sweet-scented snow. But the reality behind this beautiful scene is utterly horrific. The painting portrays the teenage emperor Elagabalus, also known as Heliogabalus, who ruled Rome from 218 to 222 AD and was notorious for his sadistic cruelty. What looks like an innocent shower of flowers was actually a calculated method of execution. According to ancient Roman texts, the young emperor would invite guests to dinner, only to suffocate them by releasing tons of flower petals from a false ceiling. As the petals continued to fall, the dinner guests found themselves unable to escape, eventually smothering to death under the growing mass of flowers. The painting captures the exact moment when the guests are beginning to realize their fate, some still eating and drinking while others start to understand the danger they're in. Meanwhile, the emperor watches from his elevated position, entertained by their impending deaths. To create this masterpiece, Alma-Tadema was so committed to accuracy that he had fresh rose petals shipped to his studio from the south of France every week for 4 months during the winter of 1888. At first sight, this small painting by Dutch master Hieronymus Bosch seems like a simple scene of street entertainment. A magician performing tricks for an attentive audience. The conjurer in his red robe stands at a table, performing what appears to be a shell game or similar sleight of hand trick. His audience leans in, captivated by the performance. But Bosch, famous for his symbolic and often nightmarish paintings, is actually showing us something much more sinister. A perfect depiction of how easily humans can be deceived. Look closer at the central figure in the audience. While he's completely focused on the pearl in the Conjurer's hand, he's being pickpocketed by an accomplice. His money purse is being stolen right from his belt, and he's completely oblivious. This painting isn't just showing a magic trick. It's a masterful allegory about human gullibility and the dangers of distraction. Bosch is warning viewers that while we focus on spectacle, we often miss the real deception happening right under our noses. The symbolism goes even deeper. Notice the small owl in the magician's basket? In medieval symbolism, owls often represented wisdom, but also deception and darkness. The frogs jumping from the victim's mouth symbolize how completely he has surrendered his reason to the spectacle before him. This pre-Raphaelite masterpiece shows a beautiful young woman in a nightgown, tenderly embracing an ornate pot containing a flourishing basil plant. Her flowing hair cascades over the pot as she leans against what appears to be a prayer desk, covered with an embroidered cloth. The rich colors, the elaborate details of the pot, and the woman's devoted posture might make this seem like a painting about nurturing growth and nature. But the true story behind it is deeply disturbing. Hunt's painting illustrates a scene from John Keats's poem Isabella, or The Pot of Basil, which itself was based on a tale from Boccaccio's Decameron. In the story, Isabella falls in love with Lorenzo, a man employed by her wealthy merchant brothers. Disapproving of the relationship, her brothers murder Lorenzo and hide his body. Lorenzo's ghost appears to Isabella in a dream, revealing the location of his corpse. In her grief, Isabella exhumes Lorenzo's body, cuts off his head, and buries it in a pot of basil, which she waters with her tears. The pot in the painting isn't just holding a plant, it contains her beloved's severed head. Look closely at the decorative details on the pot itself. Those are skulls worked into the design, a macabre hint at what lies within. This painting becomes even more haunting when you learn about the personal tragedy that occurred during its creation. While working on the painting, Hunt's wife, Fanny, died from fever shortly after childbirth. Overwhelmed with grief, Hunt used his dead wife's features for Isabella's face, transforming the work into a personal memorial. The unmade bed visible in the background takes on new meaning, suggesting Isabella's restless nights consumed by mourning, but also reflecting Hunt's own sleepless grief. What initially appears to be a painting about nurturing care reveals itself as a disturbing portrait of obsessive grief, murder, and macabre devotion. This romantic pre-Raphaelite painting shows an armored knight being approached by a beautiful woman offering him food and wine. The setting is mysterious and atmospheric, with shadowy figures barely visible in the background. At first glance, it seems like a straightforward medieval romance, a beautiful maiden offering refreshment to a weary knight. But this painting actually depicts a spiritual battle between good and evil with the highest stakes imaginable. The knight is Sir Percival, one of the legendary knights of the Round Table questing for the Holy Grail. What appears to be an innocent offering of hospitality is actually a deadly trap. The beautiful woman isn't human at all. She's the devil in disguise, attempting to seduce Percival and prevent him from achieving his sacred quest. The wine she offers isn't refreshment, but spiritual poison that would corrupt his soul and doom his mission. Look at the knight's face. His expression shows internal conflict as he's tempted by the beautiful apparition before him. The painting captures the exact moment of decision. Will he succumb to temptation or resist? According to the legend from Thomas Malory's Le Morte d'Arthur, what saves Percival is noticing that his sword forms the shape of a cross. In the distant background, you might spot a shadowy childlike figure, interpreted by many as a demon or imp, further revealing the sinister nature of this seemingly innocent encounter. The painting uses subtle symbolism throughout. Notice the contrasting imagery. Decay surrounds the demonic woman with dying leaves, while green life persists near the knight's symbols of virtue.